Hi, hello, how are you? I'm Cyn Doll. Today we're going to talk about balding and thinning. Have you ever really sat down, took out a notebook to really assess why your hair is thinning in the first place? Today we're going to talk about density and how to increase the fullness and the density of your hair easily from the inside out. All right? Okay, so if you want to know, then make sure you stick around until the end of this video and you'll have your answer.
I am back! What it do, baby?
Let's get into the truth that most brands won't tell you. Your hair density is not just about oils or rice water or cute DUIs. If you really want thicker hair, we need to talk about what's happening beneath the surface and what science actually says about it. Now, most of the time, whenever we're talking about density, we always bring up genetics, but that's just a very small piece of the pie, right? But there are so many other pieces, so let's get into it. When we're talking about density, this is meaning how many strands you have naturally per square inch. And this is mostly genetic, but that's only part of it. You can't create new follicles, but what you can do is make the ones that you already have healthier, stronger, and more active. Think of it like this. If your hair is a garden, genetics gave you the soil type. That's what type of soil you're planting everything in, right? But you still control how much sun, water, and fertilizer it gets. So all of these things are really important. And number 2 is going to be DHT, which is the silent hair killer. And here's where it gets real. DHT is the hormone your body naturally makes, but too much of it can shrink your follicles, especially around the hairline and the crown. That's when the surface starts thinning out and not growing back as strong. So even though it'll fall out, when it comes back, right, it's not going to be as thick. And then slowly but surely you'll notice that the density is changing. So what actually helps? There are a couple of different topical treatments that you can try, and we'll talk about that in another video. Things like saw palmetto are absolutely amazing when it comes to blocking DHT, but again, we're gonna have a video all by itself just talking about DHT if that's something that you want to do, right? So make sure you leave that in the comments below if you want me to do an exact video on what to do and exactly how to do it, right? Number 3 is going to be your scalp health, which equals hair growth. You can't grow thick hair on a dirty, inflamed scalp. It just doesn't work. Scientists have found that scalp buildup, clogged follicles, and poor circulation literally block hair growth. So the more you're oiling and greasing and buttering the scalp and not shampooing the hair for months in advance, even though it may seem like your hair is growing, eventually your body will catch up to those patterns and the hair growth cycle will begin to stop. That is why you see so many women beginning to have different versions of balding and thinning and things of that nature by the time they get to their late 40s, early 50s, is because of the patterns that they had in, previous phases of life. And these are things that are really important. Again, let me know in the comments below if you want me to dive deep into some key constituents that will stop and slow down balding in its tracks. And I already have a couple of videos like that, so make sure you check the video linked in the description box below where I've already broken that down for you, right? And then next up is going to be micro needling, or PRP, clinical level growth boosters, right? So these are things that you do when you need to go to a whole different level. These are not do-it-yourself treatments or anything like that, right? And when I say do-it-yourself treatment, I mean the type of thing that you could just pick up and make up your own rules. No. If microneedling is something that you want to do, you need to understand what microneedling is, what the purpose of it is, how often you should do it, what products you should be using, what products you shouldn't be using as you're doing it. It's layered. Again, if you want a full video on microneedling, then let me know in the comments below and I will get it for you, right? This beauty that's sitting in my chair right now, this video is really old, right? Like 6-7 years old. But I remember she went to a hairstylist that didn't know how to cut her pixie right, and she ended up cutting a whole bunch of holes. Like you can see that hole in the front. So right now what I'm doing is making these holes pretty invisible as I can, right? So let's get back into this. Micro needling the scalp triggers your body's healing response and boosts collagen around the follicles. Now, clinical trials show that it can significantly improve the density of your hair when done properly and consistently. Again, if you want more details on it, then let me know. So PRP therapy is something that is really been proven to work. This therapy involves injecting your own blood plasma into the scalp to stimulate dormant follicles. It sounds wild, but it really works, especially if your hair loss is patchy or hormonal. So that's an option for you, but of course you would have to go in to see a dermatologist for that. And number 5 is going to be different nutrient deficiencies, right? Now this will ruin your hair growth if your body isn't producing the right type of things, right? Because it's crazy. Low iron, zinc, and vitamin D or biotin equals thin, brittle, and weak hair. It's plain and simple. So if you get into the kitchen and you start really ingesting those things that the body is missing, it will change so many different things. And this is the kicker. Supplements only work if you're actually deficient. Don't waste money overloading on vitamins your body doesn't need. Get your levels checked and then build your supplement routines around that. But most people are seeing things online and being like, oh, they said you can use it. Oh my God, they said you can use it. So I'm going to use it on my hair. No, don't do that. Do not just up and randomly use random products on your hair that you don't know anything about, and don't just take random supplements just because they're popular online. That's what you're going to a dermatologist for. Most women think that whenever they're going in to see a dermatologist, it's the dermatologist's job to look at their scalp and be like, oh my God, that's why you bald head, and I'm gonna tell you exactly, put this on it, put that on it. No, the dermatologist's job is to assess your scalp, look at you, take some tests, start doing different tests on your scalp, and then take it in the lab. This is why most people will go in and get a scalp biopsy and things of that nature. Then after they run the test, they tell you what you have. They're checking your blood, they're checking your urine just to see what your levels are, and then they come back and tell you what you're deficient in, and then you have to go home and not just put whatever they told you to put on your scalp. You have to go home and change your patterns and routines, because whatever the dermatologist gave you to put on your scalp is doing one thing: it's killing the bacteria that you've let overgrow on the scalp, causing whatever the infection is, right? And then there are some things that trigger skin cell turnover. It depends on what you're going through, but at the end of the day, you still have to change things that are going on the inside, or it's just not going to work. Number 6 is going to be herbs with real clinical receipts. Every time you go on social media, there's somebody new saying something random, but no. Absolutely no. All of these herbs and things of that nature do not go on the scalp. So make sure you check the links in the description box below so you can head right over to my blog, so that way you can go ahead and check out all of the different suggestions that I have. And I also have a whole herbal playlist, so that way you can see what nutrients you need to be feeding the body. Lastly, there's also an ebook that I have linked in the description box below that is going to show you exactly what you need to be ingesting into the body, because Every time somebody's hair starts to thin out or anything like that, the first thing you want to do is blame it on the hair product, blame it on the shampoo and conditioner, but a lot of the things are internal. One of the most frequently asked questions that I get is, seeing what are the suggestions that you have for little girls' hair? And the main reason that I don't make videos like that is because I think that, just like almost every other video that I make, this is really, really hard for most people to understand. Real quick, this video is on like times 20. Her mother is sitting right there. I'm actually going to put the link to her mother's video in the description box below, so you guys will know I am not hurting her in any way, shape, or form. If you pay attention, I always hold the hair with the base of my hand, so my hand is gathering all of the tension. She was absolutely okay. If I don't remember exactly what was going on with her hair. I know she had just came out of braids, like the protective styles for the summer, and most little girls have the worst breakage after the summertime because most mothers think that they're actually protecting their daughter's hair by keeping it in braids all summer long, but in reality you are just really, really introducing a whole lot of breakage. And then almost every time, like my clients, they would bring their daughters to me, and I probably have maybe like 10 little girls on my books out of thousands of clients, right? But their mothers would bring them to me, and I would get their hair back healthy right before school started, get all of the dead ends gone and everything. But then they'll have healthy hair that will grow back and would get long throughout the school year. But then summer will roll around, and then we would be right back in the same spot, and I would have to cut that hair. So it's not that little black girls' hair doesn't grow, it's that the patterns and the routines that mothers are using are making it impossible for little girls to retain length. Now, the reason that I don't make videos that differ is because when people brought their daughters to me, I didn't pull out different brushes, different combs, different shampoos and conditioners for their daughter's hair. Your daughter's hair and her follicles are not different from yours. The only difference between yours and hers is you've had way more hair growth cycles than hers, and depending on how old she is, she's either in her first hair growth cycle, her first full hair growth cycle, or approaching her second, because the average human hair growth cycle is about 7 years, 10 years. Scientists have found it's about 10 years for Asian women, right? Asian men and women. So when we are talking about little girls' hair, I don't have a different regimen from the one that I give you. When my mom used to take me to the shop every 2 weeks, my hair would get shampooed, deep conditioned on the days that it needed to be deep conditioned, and then blown out, and then styled right under the dryer and put under the dryer, just like my mom. Like, they were not using different products. Here are the little girls products, and here are the grown-up products. No, it doesn't work like that. It just simply doesn't. Even in the salon, if a little girl was getting a relaxer, she just would get an extremely mild relaxer, but she's not getting a relaxer made for kids. And this isn't an attack on anybody, but most of the time, whenever we're talking about doing your daughter's hair, the first thing you want to do, and especially when you have a little girl, as soon as her hair is long enough to braid, you want to braid it and put beads in it and do a lot of tight styles. And then if your baby says, "Oh, mommy, this hurts," it's like, oh, it has to be really tight like that, because if it's not really tight like that, then it won't last. It won't come together, or it won't stay up. And this is the reason that so many little girls have breakage. In our next video, we're going to go dive deep into braid gel, everybody's favorite braid gel, and if whether or not you should be using it and what it's made of, right? I'm not going to be telling you what to do. We will literally just be breaking things down, and when I break down the chemicals and the key constituents to you, it's going to be very, very easy for you to see why most likely you should not be just simply putting this product on the scalp, and why you shouldn't be slathering your child's hair in this product, and why you shouldn't be slathering your client's hair in this product. We're going to break it down. It's not like, oh, see, it's so anti-product. No, I need y'all to understand that products are made for specific reasons, and if you use them for reasons other than what they were purposed for, and if you keep them on the scalp too long or on the hair too long, you will have certain effects, right? So we're going to break this down. These are the things that I want most of us to understand, because even now, right? Even now, if you see her hair, right? You see that she does have minor breakage. Mind you, her mom is she just took her braids out. So if braids don't cause breakage and she got a trim before the braids went in, then this wouldn't make any sense, right? These are things that you really have to think about. Am I saying that every time you get your hair braided, it's going to have breakage? Absolutely not. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you do have that type of hairstyle or anything like that, you need to have a very specific amount of time that you're going to have this style in your head. So box braids shouldn't be in your head any longer really than 2 months, right? And anything past that, if you're leaving them in for 6 months at a time, then you have to understand your hair is no longer being protected. Now your hair is just being the anchor to the hair extensions that you have. And that's why you'll see the hair constantly break. And a lot of people aren't going to like what I have to say next, but everybody's like, oh, you need braid spray. No, you don't. If you look at the ingredients of braid spray, there's nothing in there that you need. I saw this video earlier today of Tabitha Brown. She had some twist in her hair, and her hair was already done. There was no frizz, and her hair was already done. And she has a new product, this mousse, and she was like, "Oh, look!" And then she just took the mousse and started putting it in her hair. And you guys are gonna go out and buy the product and start doing the same thing. If you want to buy mousse from her, go right ahead, but understand that mousse is only to style your hair. Once your hair is styled, there's no reason for you to constantly be going back and putting products on your hair every day. I have it so many times in my comments where women are like, oh, yeah, I did my hair and everything was good, and I put hair lotion on my hair. I put that on there every day. Why are you doing that every day? You shouldn't be shampooing your hair every day. You shouldn't be putting a product on your hair every day. Because I want to ask you a question. If you put the hair lotion on your hair on Monday and then you turn around and put it on Tuesday, where did the hair lotion that you put on Monday go? If you didn't wash your hair between Monday and Tuesday, there's no reason for you to put more of a product on. All you're doing is putting another layer of product on top. And these are the things that we do to our daughter's hair. And that's why it's something that's so important. There's no difference between the way that I do my daughter's hair and the way that I do my hair. If you have a little girl, like a little girl, then obviously you want to just do really, really simple stuff. You don't need to do tight ponytail holders. You can do cute little clips, right? There are so many different options that you have. I'm going to leave one of the live broadcasts that I did talking about the different types of replacements or substitutes for ponytail holders, so you don't have to keep using the same ones. But this is something that I really, really, really want us to think about. Like, I really, really want us to think about these things. One of the easiest things to do is to really, really sit down and make a plan for your baby's hair. Look through different Pinterest posts and just look at different styles that are low tension, that are beautiful for your baby's hair. And there are so many different things that you can do. Over within the Growth Cycle Blueprint, they are going to get a whole like little layout of a bunch of different options that they have for their baby's hair. But understand that the preparation process is exactly the same. I'm shampooing and conditioning exactly the same. Skin cell turnover, everything that I teach you about you goes for your baby, right? Your baby isn't going to automatically, once she gets like 15, get a different scalp and a different set of hair. No, everything's exactly the same. These are just the beginning stages. These are the things that count. These are the things that matter. So I really, really hope that that's making sense to you. This is something that will be very, very simplistic after it becomes a habit, right? Don't think that there are separate styles or all of these different things that you need to do to your little girl's hair. And this is going to be something that most people probably won't agree with, but I think one of the main causes of breakage and mechanical damage is most Black women's misconception or belief that your hair always has to be in some type of style. I'm not going to speak on races. I'm just going to say this. If you were to get a notebook and some paper out and you were to do the process of elimination and look at other races and other ethnic groups and look at their little girls and their patterns and the amount of tension that they're put on their daughter's hair in opposition to Black women, there is a very, very clear picture of why Black women struggle to retain length from a very young age and why other races of women don't. These are things that are very important. Most Black women have tension and grease and butter smothered all in their scalp at a very young age. Their scalp never has a chance to set a healthy hair growth cycle, a healthy skin cell turnover cycle, because the scalp is smothered in grease and oil from jump. I get comments so many times from women who say that they've never greased or oiled their daughter's scalp, and then they'll get around somebody else and they'll see their daughter's hair is long. They've never greased their daughter's scalp, but their daughter's hair is long and gorgeous and beautiful. And then people will be like, oh, well, what do you do to her hair? And she'll say, nothing. All I do is shampoo, condition, leave-in conditioner, blow dry it, and flat iron. They'll be like, you need to start oiling that little girl's scalp. You don't oil her scalp? She black. She need oil. Even though you can see the little girl's hair, there's no dryness, there's no breakage, none of the things. But it's still like, you have to put grease on it. You have to put oil on it. And those are the patterns and routines that you need to break. There are not different patterns and routines for your little girl's hair versus yours. Obviously, again, when they're a baby, if you're like 1, 2, 3 years old, no, they don't need flat irons. But you can still blow dry a 3-year-old's hair. You can. And if you don't want to blow dry, their hair is like, if their hair is long enough for you to put all of those braids and beads in, is long enough for them to get a little flexi rod set. You can give them a cute little flexi rod set and put it in a couple of cute little clips, right? These are the things that you have to think about, and these are the things that you have to prioritize. And I really, really, really want you guys to take all of these things into consideration, right? Right now, I'm just trimming her hair, and after that, she is going to get her hair like bent under just a little bit, just a little bit, and then we're gonna be good after that. So that's something that I really want you guys to take into consideration, because after this, she can get this done every 2 weeks and she will not have heat damage as long as things are done properly, right? And there are other small, minute hairstyles that your daughter can do if, let's say, she sweats and things of that nature. But I'll also get women to ask me, oh, what if my daughter swims? I talk about chlorine in other videos, but if you want another video on that, let me know in the description box below. But That's pretty much it, guys. Make sure your post notifications are on so you're here when we go even deeper into density. And remember, rewind it to the beginning if you have to let me know how you feel about the very, 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 very beginning of this video and which portion you want me to dive deeper into. All right. I love you guys so much. It is very, very simplistic and very, very easy for you to get past all of the breakage, all of the damage, all of the thinning. A lot of it is self-inflicted. And if you stop being offended and you really sit down and start doing your own research for yourself and start getting new patterns that don't cause you to layer products on the scalp and layer products on the hair shaft, and you really start doing the process of elimination without offense, without being offended, without race baiting yourself, right? Because this is just you. This is something that's just you. I'm not there. None of the other people that you watch on YouTube are there. It's just you, right? And you can make these decisions for yourself and for your baby, right? So get to work. I'm leaving links to all of the playlists in the description box below, right? And then after that, what we are going to do is really, really start unpacking the details that you guys really need. And I want y'all to peep game. You see my hair? Look, my hair was really, really short. Everything that I'm telling you not to do, I've already been there. I said it first to myself, and now I'm saying it to you. You seen the itches I got today, baby.
So let me know in the comments below what you thought about this video. I had so much fun doing this one, and I hope that my channel helps you see that there is actually nothing wrong with your body. It's just all about the patterns and the routines that you're using, the fruits and vegetables that you're putting in the hair, the people that you're listening to, they don't know what they're talking about. I love you guys so very much, and let me know in the comments below what you want to see next. Oh, and I need you to do me a favor. YouTube has this video right here, and it knows that you're gonna love this one, and I know you will too. So watch this video next, and until our next one, I will see you later. Bye.